Nosana Sondiyazi. Nosana, good afternoon. Welcome to the meeting experience.
Good afternoon, Garaba. Thank you for having me.
How are you?
Well, I am great, thank you. We are.
Oh,
It's a lovely day. It's nice and sunny. Spring and summer is
yes.
here.
I love the weather today, but it's a bit windy as well. So the wind could just like cool off a bit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's been a while. The last time I had a chat with you, we were talking about queer people telling our stories.
Yes, we were. Queer
Yeah,
narratives, queer storytelling.
yeah. And this afternoon we're talking about the LGBTQIA plus, and I know that your organization is involved in that, Sulana Emulimo.
Yes.
Can you briefly tell us about Sulana Emulimo? What is it all about?
All right, Tulana Imulimo is an NPO. So we're a non-profit organization, which means all of our services are free.
Mm-hmm.
And because our population that we assist is the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex, asexual population, we assist them with health services, particularly HIV testing, screening for any STIs, as well as referral for PrEP or PEP, because if maybe you've tested for HIV and then you get your results, you will either be positive and need to go on ART, or be negative and need to go on PrEP, and then we will be the organization that writes you a letter, and then we will link you to the nearest facility that will give you medicine. We don't stock medicine for
Oh,
anyone that has any STI or HIV. What we do stock, and we have plenty of, is free condoms and lubricant.
okay. Free condoms and lubricants. Also,
Yes.
what I've heard as well is that because in our last when we were last together and we were talking all things queer narratives, you also mentioned that you assist in terms of helping, let's say, queer people want to get married, and home affairs is also a struggle right there. It's a bit of a battle, to get married as well. Is that something that you also offer as well?
Yes, I am going to mention some of the challenges that we experience and some of the issues and the problems that have been shared to us by the queer
Mm-hmm.
community, the struggles that they have just accessing basic free services, government services, public services. And what we identified, particularly at Home Affairs, is that some same-sex couples that want to access just a marriage certificate, sometimes they will be delayed at a particular home affair, and the officials at the home affair will say no, they only conduct opposite sex unions and only offer that.
Mm-hmm.
So we are offering assistance in that manner, in the sense that if you are a same-sex couple and you've either tried to go to home affairs to access your marriage certificate, or you are fearful of the treatment, then we would like to assist you with that, because then we will be able to intervene on your behalf, because we know about the law that governs the home affairs, and actually they have no right to deny you that service.
Yeah. Now I'm listening at home, right? I'm not a member of the LGBTQI. I'm a heterosexual at home listening to the midday experience.
Uh,
Do I have to be the member of the community for me to get help from Sulana Emulima?
Not at all, in the sense that you perhaps have a relationship with a member of the LGBTI community. That can be a friend, that can be a family member, and you just want to understand your friend or your family member. We have a
Uh-huh.
social worker who, maybe you are struggling, maybe it's your child, that can be difficult, or if it's your brother, or maybe somebody needs assistance coming out to their family, right? We offer counseling, and we can even come to your home. The social worker will come to your home and explain to your family members who are heterosexual what it means for you to be a member of the LGBTI community, because what we are trying to assist you with there is that we are trying to normalize LGBTI people. We don't want them to think that you've been possessed, or you're going to, you've got bad luck, or a lot of these things. So normally when a professional comes in to assist you with that, it helps. In terms of our other services, the HIV testing, those are directly for the LGBTI community, particularly transgender people. And if you come to our event as well and you're not a member of our community, we have pamphlets that have information about a lot of our services, because maybe you don't even know what PrEP is. You tested with us, you came out HIV negative, and now we are busy trying to convince you to maybe consider going on PrEP. You don't even know what that is. So that information, if you come to our event, you will get that pamphlet that describes all of that information, how you take it, how long you need to take it, why you take it. So we often advise our key and vulnerable populations, which is what we are working with, this is the LGBTI, to bring their friends to kind of hear about, okay, these are the lives of the LGBTI people.
Yeah, I love it. Now that we've been using the word LGBTQIA plus.
Yes.
And I'm part of the community as well. And during the week on the show, I received a question about intersex.
Okay.
I think that's what the I stands for, right?
It does.
What is intersex?
Okay. Must I only explain intersex? Should I break down the entire LGBTQIA plus?
I would love to if you can break down the entire LGBTQI.
L is for lesbian. This is a homosexual woman. And this is a homosexual woman in the sense that she's female, she dates females, okay? And then gay, we all used to be gay once upon a time. There was no such thing as LGBTI. Now you can be a gay woman, you can call yourself gay, but right now we've noticed that it's men particularly who call themselves gay. So those are homosexual men who fall in love with other men, date men, and have sex with other men. B are the bisexual men and women who have sex with either men or women, The bisexual community often has a hard time because you will be a bisexual man and you'll be dating a man, and maybe that man will be will be fearful that you'll leave them for a woman. It's always like that. Bisexual people always have a hard time. You'll be dating a member either of the same sex and the opposite sex, and then they'll worry that, oh, maybe I'm not enough for you because you also like the other sex, And it's sad.
I know myself, my experience with bisexual is just not so cute at all.
Yes, this is the thing. They will often be accused of being on the fence. That they haven't decided, that they are either being gay for a while and go back to being straight, or they are currently in an opposite sex relationship, but they will return or become eventually full-time gay. And that is very unfair because bisexual people are a legitimate member of the LGBTI community. We should stop projecting on all our fears on bisexuals, right? LGBT. The transgender community now, with all three of the others, I've been talking about people's sexual orientation, who they are attracted to, who they date, who they have sex with. The transgenders, as well as the intersex, are the only members in that acronym that are talking about now gender identity, not sexual orientation. Because if you are transgender, we are not specifically talking about who you're attracted to. We're talking about you yourself alone. What is your own gender identity? And if you are transgender, it means you were perhaps born male and you are living as female, because you are transgender, and that means then the sex that you were born as, you are living as the opposite sex. The reason why we use the word transgender and cisgender is because we're trying to get rid of the word normal. Because now someone will say, oh, are you transgender? Oh, I thought you were normal. Now that would immediately says to somebody who's transgender that they're not normal. So I just want to also introduce the word cisgender today, because if you are male and you're born male and you live as male, you're not normal. Your description of your gender identity is you are cisgender. So you can be cisgender and gay, you can be cisgender and bi, you can be cisgender and heterosexual. Do you know what I mean? So the transgender people are those particularly who live as the opposite gender to what they were born as. And there's a big umbrella community of transgender people, because you don't only have to live as the opposite gender. Maybe you've decided, I don't disclose my gender, I'm gender neutral. I can sometimes fit into both genders, and my gender is fluid. I can be gender non-conforming, non-binary. And even people who dress up, cross-dress, they suddenly also fall under the transgender umbrella. I mean, we could talk quite a while just speaking on transgender only. So that's transgender. I is intersex. Now, for the longest time, I think people still think that there's only two sexes. People think there's only men and women. People think there's only males and females. People think there's only penises and vaginas. This is not true, Garabo. The intersex is the third sex. So now you can be born intersex. Well, basically, you can be born male or female or intersex. What does it mean if you're intersex? It means that your genitalia, perhaps when you were born, the doctor cannot be clear if that is perhaps maybe quite a small penis or quite an enlarged clitoris. So then that means medically there isn't a clear definition on your sex. You don't fall into either male clearly or female clearly. This is maybe your genitalia that showcases this condition, but this condition is very varied and very wide. It's not always your genitalia that will expose that you are intersex. Sometimes it would be your chromosomes. Sometimes your genitalia will look a particular sex, but then later you exhibit qualities like maybe during puberty that actually you are not, your puberty is exhibiting symptoms of being the other sex that the parent couldn't think of. There are girls maybe that only during puberty started growing a beard and the genitalia looked female. Do you know what I mean? So there are, from what they say, the medics, they say there are no two identical intersex persons. So now the intersex is also your sex. It's not your gender, like I described with the transgender, because your gender is in your brain, how you feel, how you think, how you live. Your sex is literally your biology. Okay, so those are intersex persons, yes.
All right, I like how you broke it down for us. Now let's get back to some of the challenges that queer people face on a daily basis. When it comes to you guys as Tulana Emolimo, what is it that they're facing?
Well, we've got several issues that we are assisting with. We already mentioned the Home Affairs, that if you are struggling to get your marriage certificate, we would like to assist you. But the other challenge that is happening at Home Affairs is if you are transgender and you would like to change your gender marker on your ID, you will maybe struggle at Home Affairs with that also. So now to change your gender marker, there is an act that is governing how a person qualifies to change a gender marker. It's Act 49 of 2003, and there's certain conditions that have been laid out by law that you need to follow. And simplified is that you need to have two letters from medical professionals that corroborate your gender identity. So say you were born male and then you've gone to Home Affairs to change your gender marker to female. Unfortunately, they don't allow us to just do that. You need to have gone through counseling, seen specialists, written a letter that says, yes, I am Dr. So-and-so. I've met with this particular individual. I agree with them that this is their gender identity, and this person would like to switch, and then another doctor needs to do the same. However, a lot of advocacy organizations around the country are challenging Act 49 of 2003 because it's quite unclear, and the fact that we need to be policed to identify ourselves and we need doctors to agree with us is something that us activists are still fighting for. Like, if I feel a particular way, who can really tell me otherwise? You know what I mean? So it is, so that's one thing. And then some of the more common challenges that we face, every once in a while we will get a report of a same-sex couple that maybe there was GBV, domestic violence or intimate partner violence, and then they try to report an incident, and then sometimes at police stations the police will not take the case seriously. They'll be like, hey, you're two men, sort it out. Or even if maybe a bisexual woman has an affair maybe with another woman, and then the man who's the boyfriend maybe assaults her, when she reports that, maybe the police will side with the boyfriend and say, hey, no, sort yourself out, don't be doing that. I mean, we need to actually hear each individual case, and we are actually collecting and documenting these reports because these are what we call human rights violations. I mean, even sometimes at clinics, you just maybe went there to get a checkup, and then you just felt that you were being targeted and being humiliated, you were being robbed of your dignity, and maybe you are still young, and at school maybe a teacher is bothering you, and you feel like you are being targeted or even bullied at school because the other learners are noticing that you are maybe a queer person. We would like to be invited to schools to sensitize the schools, give those young queer kids some support and sensitize the schools. And I mean, because I mentioned we do specifically mostly health services, our LGBT community, just like a lot of the general population, we are, we're unemployed. It's been quite hard. So we are offering life skills clubs. We are offering clubs and workshops where we teach people who are maybe sitting at home how to write their CV, how to prepare for an interview, so we call it workplace readiness training. So please look at our Facebook page for when we host those. And I've just broken down the sex, gender, and sexuality terminology to you. And I mean, within the LGBTI community, there's people who still don't know how to identify themselves. So we often have sensitizations, and then we talk, and then we discuss, and we find people maybe that have been identifying as gay, but they are basically cross-dressing every day, dressed in drag every day, and then we provide the information. We will never say to you that you are misidentifying, you are classifying yourself incorrectly. That is not our job. These are just words that were given to us to assist us. So when we share the information, we just allow, our participants to decide, do they want to adopt that term for themselves, and yeah, let me stop there. It's quite a thing that we get up to. So yeah, those are some of our issues that we assist our clients with.
Nosana, I love the work that you guys do at Sulana Emblem, and that's why today we're saluting you guys. We're saluting champions who are making a difference in our lives. We really, really appreciate it. In wrapping up, where can people get hold of you guys?
All right, we have our operations offices in Tabanchu. I should probably look at our address, but if you get hold of us on our Facebook page, Tulwana, one word, Imolemo, one word, you can inbox us, and we have got individual field workers, peer educators, outreach workers on the ground in the community, staying in Buchabelo, here in Bloemfontein, as well as Tabanchu. So when you make an appointment with us, I can actually meet you at your home, in your neighborhood, or at your nearest health facility, and we can assist you. And if you would like to just find out what other services that we have, maybe from our social worker or professional nurse, please just inbox us on Facebook, and then we'll link you with a team member that needs to assist you with whatever that you are inquiring about.
Alrighty, thank you so much for making time to chat to us this Thursday.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having us, Garbo. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a lovely one.
You too. All right, then.
Bye.
Bye.
Remember, they offer HIV testing, STI screening, TB screening, HLT referral for PrEP, field psychological support, wellness clinic, health advocacy, linkage and adherence to requested support, condom and lubricant distribution, community dialogue, support groups, distribution of IEC material, documenting human rights violations as well. All of this for free. Make sure that you follow them on social media at Sulana Emolema on Facebook. That's how we wrap it up. # we salute you on a Thursday. This is where we salute champions who are making a difference in our lives. On the way, lunchtime starting.